everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel, Lessons with Guitarman. My name's Aaron, and I'll be your designated driver here today for this great song, Brown County Breakdown. I originally heard this tune by the great flat picker Bryan Sutton. After I heard it a little bit and researched it, I found out that it was actually a Kenny Baker tune and went back and listened to Kenny Baker play it, and I'll have to say, they're both really awesome versions, and either one of those is really great. Now, I don't necessarily play it exactly like Bryan Sutton. I certainly don't play it exactly like Kenny Baker. I kind of use my own technique and my own way of doing it, and maybe you'll get something out of it and can use it in your own playing. So let's go ahead and dive in there and see how this thing works. Okay, so I'm going to move through this pretty quickly. I'm assuming most of you out there, intermediate to advanced level, trying to learn this one. So the pickup line's going to go like so. 3, open, or down, up. The first measure, it's going to be 3, hammer on 2, open. Alright, so the pickup line with the first measure is going to sound like so. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, now moving on to the second measure, you're going to have a 2, open, 2, 2, open, 2. So 1, 2, ready, and 2. Okay, that half note right there has a dot, which means play for 2 plus 1, which is 3 beats. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, down, up. Okay. Now moving on to the third measure, what you're going to have here is a 1, slide from 3 to 5, and then grab that high G right here. And what you're going to notice here is that slide from 3 to 5 is an up to the 5 and an up on the G. So that whole measure is going to sound like so. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. And moving on to the fourth measure there, you're going to have a 5 and then 3, open. 5, 3, open. So 1, 2, ready, go. 5, 3, open. Alright, now right there on the fourth measure where it goes 5, 3, open, you got to kind of jump real quick from right here to get back into position. Pay close attention when you go to 5 and you get back to that. So let's go ahead and play through the whole first 4 measures, including the pickup line, and we'll see how that sounds here. So 1, 2, ready, go. Moving on to the fifth measure, what you're going to see here is does exactly the same thing as the first measure, so there's nothing new there. And the sixth measure is the same as the second measure, except we're doing a hammer on instead of a open 2. We're doing a hammer on 2 there. So the fifth and sixth measure are going to sound like so. 1, 2, ready, go. Now what we're going to have here on the seventh measure is 1, 2, pull off, open, and then repeat the same lick again. So it's going to be, and then the last 2 notes are a 2 on the D string and an open. So that whole measure is going to sound like so. 1, 2, ready, go. The eighth measure is going to sound like so. Open, 1, pull off to open, 2, 3. Down, up, open, up, down. And again here, so you're going to need to pay real close attention there to the down, up, pull off, up on 2 to 3. That's totally syncopated right there, so that whole measure is going to sound like so. 1, 2, ready, go. And the second ending of the A part is exactly the same as the first part, is the first ending there, except we're just going to 2, 3, and pausing on the C note there. So the first ending, or the 8th measure, is, and the second ending's the same thing, minus the 3 open, which is going to be, okay? Now let's go ahead and play through the entire A section with the both endings and see how that sounds. So 1, 2, ready, go. Moving on to the B part here, what we're going to have in the 10th measure is a 3, 2, 3, open, 2, 3, open, 2. And if we look real close there, what we have is 2 strings of 8th notes there. So it's 3, 2, 3, open, 2, 3, open, 2. Going from the 10th measure to the 11th measure now, we're going to, with that last note there in the 10th measure, the 2, we're going to slide from 2 all the way up here to 5. And let that G string ring on the bottom of it, because that's a G note, and open G string. You got a unison there. All right. And if we look what happens on the 11th measure, it's open, 2, open, 2, open, 2. Or slide, open, 2, open, 2, open, 2. So we're doing a whole bunch of kind of right down the line here. So putting together the 10th and the 11th measure is going to sound like so. So 1, 2, ready, go. The beautiful thing about the way that I've written this B part here is if you look at the 12th measure and the 13th measure, you have exactly the same thing as the 10th and the 11th measure. So there's nothing new there to learn on the 12th and the 13th measure. If you go down to the 14th and 15th measure, you'll notice it's exactly the same as the 10th and 11th measure also. Now I did this on purpose so you can play the exact same thing 3 times before we go to the tag or the ending lick. So the beautiful thing here is we play the same thing 3 times, this, and again, and then at the 16th measure, what you're going to see here is the same notes as we tied off the A section with, where we go. That's the same thing we used in the A section to tie it off. Alright, so let me run through the B part one time slowly, and you'll see what that sounds like. So 1, 2, ready, go. Now moving on to the C section here, what you're going to notice here is that there's a C, and then it goes to this B flat chord, which is not in the key of C major. What that is actually in is C mixolydian. So what we're going to have to change here, or for you music buffs out there, C mixolydian is going to be these following notes, and I'll put a little diagram up on the screen. C, D, E, F, G, A, B flat, So you got. Alright, that's the scale. Starting off, we're going to slide from 3, or the flatted 7th note, up to the 5. Okay, so you're going to go. Alright, and then going on to the 19th measure, we're going to have 5, 3, 5, 6, 5, 3, 5, open. Alright, so that's pretty straightforward there, just 2 strings of 8th notes. So it's going to be 5, 3, 5, 6, 5, 3, 5, open. Alright, so 1, 2, ready, go. Now that open E is really important right there on top, because that's what allows us to squeak back here to go to this B flat chord. Now moving on to the 20th measure, or the B flat chord here, you're going to slide from 2 to 3, 1, 3, 3, 1. So it's slide from 2 to 3, 1, 3, 3, 1. So 1, 2, ready, go. And then going to the 21st measure is going to be another 2 strings of 8th notes. 3, 1, 3, 4, 3, 1, 3, open. 3, 1, 3, 4, 3, 1, 3, open. And then moving on to the 22nd measure, what we're going to have there is the same exact thing as the 18th measure. So 18 and 22 are exactly the same, nothing new to learn there. And then going to the 23rd measure, you're going to see the 23rd measure is exactly the same as measure 19, so there's nothing new to learn there. However, when we get to this first ending at the 24th measure, we have this little, I guess, for lack of a better term, a floating lick here. And that is going to be as so. So we got 3, 6, open. So 3, 6, open. Okay. And then 3, 5, open. 3, 5. So it's going to be 3, 6, open. 3, 5, open. 3, 5. So that is a little weird. You're going to have to practice that a few times, and get that fingering and sound under your ears, but it's going to sound like so. 1, 2, ready, go. Alright, now moving on to the 25th measure, you're going to have an open, 3, 4, open, 5. And I use these 2 fingers to grab those 2. So the 25th measure is open, 3, 4, open, 5. Alright, so counting that out, 1, 2, 3, 4. So going on to the 27th measure here, what we basically have is a little C major pentatonic lick, which is going to be 5, so 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3. So pretty straightforward there. We're doing the same thing on this set of strings and this set of strings. You got 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3. Okay? Or down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And then we're going to hit a 4, open, 5. 4, open, 5. And the whole second ending is going to sound like so. I forgot to talk about that pull-off there real quick. At the 27th measure, it's hammer on, 3, 5, pull-off, or a triplet. So So 3, 5, 3, that's one stroke. 4, open, 5. And so the whole second ending is going to sound like so. 1, 2, ready, go. Alright, now let's go ahead and play the entire C part together slowly and see how that sounds with both endings in there. So 1, 2, ready, go. Alright, now let me run through this entire tune one time slowly, and that'll be a wrap on this tune. So 1, 2, you know what to do. Actually, right there on the very ending part, it's... Alright, well I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. That is one heck of a tune right there. This is not exactly how Bryan Sutton played it, and it's not exactly how Kenny Baker played it, but I kind of used both of their versions and mixed in a little of my own technique and ideas and flavor, and came up with my own arrangement of this tune. When you're trying to learn this, make sure you're a little patient with yourself, because there are a lot of notes. There's 3 sections. It's definitely a little bit of a challenge, but if you're patient, you'll have a good time with this tune, and I think you'll get a whole lot out of it. Alright, well that's a wrap on this video. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. If you have any questions for me, feel free to send me a message linked in the description below. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll be seeing you down the road.